970,000 loan modifications last year in this country. 1 in 6 loans had a modification. 750,000 loans currently are 90 days late. 11 million homes underwater, and 4 million homes underwater in terms of first and second mortgages. Gee whiz, you're in a lot of pain. You know, what's that joke? The masochist and the sadist that got together, and the masochist said, beat me, and the sadist said, no. And there's a little bit of truth to that. You've picked an industry, you've picked a career where there's a lot of stuff that's out of your control. And you want to control stuff, and so you are saying, I want to control, I want to manage this real estate transaction, and guess what? Appraisal happens, and good or bad, and inspections happen, and title defects happen, and incompetent lenders happen. And I'm not saying that you should accept those things, but I believe at the end of the day, your job is not to sell real estate. I believe at the end of the day, your job is to solve problems. And so I use the word solutionist. I believe that you could be a solutionist. Feel free to use it. Just remember Dave Porter. And I believe that we're problem solvers, and that's our primary job. I really do. And we're going to get into a lot of stuff. We're going to get into what you've talked about today. And we talk about what happened, the bubble, and what happened, and the crisis, and we kind of hash out some stuff, and we kind of get to some of these things. Why the underwriting paranoia? You know, why missing dates? Those type of things. So we're gonna kind of frame all that a little bit. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make you be a loan underwriter. Think about that. Think about that. I mean, it's kind of like, I had one agent one time complain about the FHA loan limits. The year was 1982, and I was doing mortgage loans, and an agent said, FHA loan limits are too low. And I said, you're right, they're $67,500, and kept complaining. And I said to this class, I said, you don't get to complain unless you've written a letter to your congressman. If you've written a letter to your congressman about raising the FHA loan limit, then you have every right to do it. But so a complaint for complaint's sake doesn't go anywhere. That's like having a beer and complaining. What an hour later, are you any better off? You know, maybe you have a beer, but that's it. All you're doing is, so there's a little bit of tough love here. So what I'm saying is that there is some empowerment that we have. And we'll talk about some things that we might want to do to move this thing forward. So here's the deal. The more you can know about the lending process, the less you feel victimized by the lending process. Is it fair that you have to learn the lender's world? It's probably unfair that you have to do that. But for you to get that transaction closed, then you know, maybe it's part of the job you want to sign up with. Now, by the way, in the last few years, we've gotten rid of most of them. But there was a while there where a loan officer would be able to look at the computer, the information would just be inputted, and there'd be a red light or a green light, and they'd say, green light, loans approved. Good, you know, go play golf, you know, and they don't know the art or the gift or the science of lending. I mean, when you read a tax return for a self-employed borrower, I really don't know how many loan officers know how to add back in depletion, if it was a farm, or depreciation, you know, self-employed. I mean, there's a lot of things that they can do. And so I guess you need to give yourself the gift of working with lenders that have competency. And you just need to start asking a whole bunch of questions, and that'll be the key.